Any suggestions which actually come from planet Earth? Or anything else you want to tell me? I can't give you a definitive cause of death until we get back to the lab, replied the pathologist. I can tell you I don't appreciate working in a circus. Paris raised his head. Shouting voices rumbled down from the house, hidden from view by a thick privet hedge. There you go, he said. I've always wondered why these people with great big gardens split them into different sections. Now I know. It's to stop the media from seeing the bodies. He looked back at Williams, who frowned at him. It's bound to happen, said Paris. You know how fast the papers pick up on the slightest hint of a story, then someone reports finding a murdered fairy. Just be glad my guys are holding them back. Besides, we've kept it down to 3 camera crews and half a dozen reporters. I think we've done pretty well. Williams tutted. You're enjoying this, aren't you? He asked. I never enjoy finding the victims, even when they're 15 centimetres tall. But I do like interesting cases. Indeed. You've certainly got one here. Boss, said Benetti, do we tell the press anything? Do we hell, replied Paris. Say it's a hoax. I'm sure Jack can whip up whatever you need. Of course, said Williams. Give you time to whip up the killer, I suppose? Yeah. Only that won't even be the hard part. That'll be dealing with the lawyers. What do you mean? Paris stared up at him. How do you kill somebody who doesn't exist? Chapter 2. Paris plonked his empty glass on the coffee table as he let out a long, slow sigh. Needed that, he said. His living room's only reply was the ticking of the clock. 8:15. 14 hours since he'd been called out this morning. Doesn't time fly, he thought, and it hasn't even got wings. He poured himself a refill and considered it for a moment. A cop on his own with a bottle of whisky was hardly an unusual occurrence. Some of them drank due to stress, or depression, or failed marriages. Paris drank because he got paid to. Years ago, he'd hit upon a novel way of cracking cases. He would go home, gather his thoughts, study the evidence, analyze the problem, then lubricate his renowned logical brain to work everything out. This method had helped him to solve numerous complicated investigations successfully. So successfully, in fact, that these days his superiors not only knew his technique, they also supplied the alcohol. Of course, the more confusing the assignment, the more working out it required. Paris mulled over the current case. He reflected on the peculiar crime scene, the astonishing corpse. He sighed once more. Looks like I'm going to need another bottle. The current one stood on the coffee table in front of him, half empty from previous nights. It occupied pride of place between the ashtray and the screwed-up takeaway wrappings. When she came to clean tomorrow, Mrs. Docherty would tell him off. Again. He plucked his cigarette from the edge of the ashtray. One deep inhale, one slow out-breath, then sit back on the sofa. All day long, through mountains of paperwork, plus interminable meetings, the mystery had gnawed away at him like a hyperactive beaver. Now, finally, some quiet time. Time to think. A tapping sound interrupted the tranquility. Paris turned his head towards the French windows. Long evening shadows of trees spilled in from the garden, with no sign of a person. The inspector got up and walked to the back of the room. He leant against the window to examine the gathering darkness. Nothing. The tapping came again, down by his feet. Paris peered at the ground outside. He could just about make out something moving in the gloom. Crouching down, he pressed his face to the glass. 2 black eyes squinted back at him. "What the hell?" said Paris. "A bloody crow!" He banged on the window. "Shoo! Clear off!" The crow remained in exactly the same place, indifferent to the protests. Paris stood up to unlock the door. He opened it and waved his foot at the feathered nuisance. "Get out of here!" The bird